Hey everyone, I'm Mike from VersaPod, and today we're going to do a side-by-side comparison, cutting the same parts using traditional clamps and with our VersaPod system. By the end, you'll see the difference in ease of use and speed of production.
So the first thing you'll see at the bottom of your screen is the piece of wood being attached to the T-slot table with the 4 clamps. While at the top of the screen, the VersaPod system is using the marker tool to outline parts. The marking system you see here is one of a kind. We developed it to allow you to accurately identify where your parts go, which is a highly valuable feature. Then the tool is being changed to a 6mm cutter. At the top of the screen now, the tool is being measured with the Auto Tool 0. At the bottom of the screen with the clamp system, I'm finding the XY0 of the board that I mounted. At the top of your screen, I'm setting material on the pods so that the outlines that were drawn are covered. The T-slot table system is now starting its cut. On the VersaPod system, with both pieces of wood over the outlines, I turn on the vacuum pump and begin the cut file. One of the main benefits of the VersaPod is the ease of switching between different jobs or repeating the same job, as you're about to see. At the bottom of the screen on the T-slot system, the first cut is complete, although I can't cut the whole way through, so I have to remove this and do a secondary operation to cut the rest of the way through. I'm using masking tape to keep the same XY0 for the next board, just to make it a little faster. Now I'm placing the second board on the T-slot table and securing it with all 4 clamps. Now that all 4 clamps are retightened, I can start the second file. At the top of the screen, the VersaPod system is finishing its final passes on the first set for the connected heart. With the clamp system, I'm being very careful when I jog the XY axis around, just so that I don't hit any clamps by accident. Now that the VersaPod system has finished cutting out the parts, I'm changing the tool to a double chamfer bit and using the tool length probe to set the 0. Now I'm running the double chamfer program on the VersaPod system. On the bottom of the screen, on the T-slot table, the second piece has just been finished. Now that both pieces have been cut, I can finish them using a flush cutting bit in a router that I'm mounting onto the table. As you can see at the top of the screen, the VersaPod system is fully finished with the first set for the connected part. And we can use the lines that we already drew to start on the second set. Since we're cutting the same object twice, I can just use the same outlines for the second time on the VersaPod system. On the bottom of your screen, I'm clearing out the T-slots to mount my router with flush cutting bit. While I was busy manually finishing the pieces at the bottom, the second set of pieces is being cut on the VersaPod system. the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I removed the residual dust from the cut line and poked a hole through so that I can use a flush cutting router bit to cut the rest of the way through. And I do the same thing for the second side. I don't know about you guys, but I hate these secondary operations. If you want to make money in the CNC world, don't spend too much time on manual labor. Now that both pieces have been cut, I can finish them by hand with a flush cutting bit mounted in my makeshift router table. You have to be very careful to move quickly enough with this chamfer bit bearing so that it doesn't burn any of the edges. But not too quickly, because if you did that, it might tear out. And finally, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, the first connecting heart is complete.
So the difference is clear. VersaPod cut twice as much in the same time it took clamps to do one. Less hassle, more results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next run.